Hi, everybody. Angel here. Thanks so much for joining. And today we will be talking with Marina of Health Glows. So um, I'm just want to say thanks to everyone who's joining either live on the replay, and we will get started in a few minutes. We'll start in just a minute. Hi there. How are you?
Hi there. I'm great. How are you?
Fine, thanks. Thanks for taking the time to come on today to chat with everybody.
Well, thank you for having me on your show.
Thank you. And you're going to see some filters here. I'm just playing around with filters. So this is
Okay.
some sparkly fruit stuff going on today.
That's nice. That's always pretty and good.
Awesome. So I did pin our topics on the bottom of the screen just to kind of help to follow along. But I will ask the questions one by one. And as people come in, I'll just pause and say hi and ask them to put their questions and comments down below for you.
Sure. Sure. Go ahead.
Awesome. So first of all, I just want to thank you so much for coming on today, Marina. And I think that this is going to be a helpful topic for a lot of people. I already had one person say that transitioning to raw is super hard, so it should be quite interesting. So it should be quite interesting. Yeah, so we can get into that as we go along here today. So my first question for you is if you could share with us your vegan journey, how you started, and how you ended up to where you are today, please.
Sure, sure. Thank you for asking. Yeah, it was quite a long journey, and I believe it began when I was born. And let me clarify that. So I was born into a family that was and that is on a standard of Western diet, even though I was born and raised in Serbia, in the country of Serbia, where a lot of meat is eaten. And things to be worse, my father was working at the time for a meat industry, and he was working as, he had an office job, but nevertheless, it was a meat industry, and he would bring home these packages of various kinds of meats. And I always believed that meat was something that was made at my father's work. I never questioned what really was that. And then one blessed day, I got a bunny pet, and whom I loved very, very much. I would always play with him, and I would always pet him, and in return, um, um, he would make little holes in all of my t-shirts. And even though he was even though despite those holes, I still loved him.
Yeah.
He was very dear to my heart. And then one blessed evening, actually, my parents told me and my brother, at the time I had only one brother, now I have four brothers and one sister. It's a whole another story. But anyway, at the time I had only one brother. So our parents told me and my brother to go to our room and just stay there for the night and not go outside. So we were in our room and we knew that there was something fishy going on outside in our backyard. And I remember my brother asked me, you are a ninja if you are brave enough to run out and see what's going on in the backyard. And at the time, my brother and I would watch all ninja movies, and we were ninjas. And I said, I am a ninja. So I ran out in the backyard, and I'll never forget that moment. So first I saw nothing. I just saw a house in front of a neighbor's house. And I was wondering, well, there is no one here. And I was slowly turning around, And all of a sudden, I saw my father holding onto my rabbit pet's ears, and our neighbor is just standing beside. He has a big knife in his hand, and there is blood dropping from my bunny pet. And the next thing I know, that just my mother, she came and she hugged me and she said, "Didn't I tell you not to go outside?" And she dragged me into the house, and I started screaming and yelling and crying, and I literally didn't know what was going on. I'll never forget that, and it just stayed with me. And then my father came in, and well, he talked to me, and he said that I shouldn't be crying, that was a normal thing to do, and that if we let that rabbit just die old, we wouldn't be able to eat it. And then I realized all the meat that the father was bringing back home from his job were animals. And then I felt I was, in that moment, I felt that I was lied my whole life up to that nobody really told me, well, you can eat this, but by doing that, you are participating in this and that. Nobody explained that to me. Why not? Why? I just really felt hurt. And now when I talk about that, I do feel hurt, because I have right to know what I'm participating in. And as a child, you cannot know until unless somebody tells you.
Yeah.
Well, anyway, I remember that the next day we had that very rabbit for the lunch, and I ate it. I was 4 or 5 at the time.
Right.
But I remember that there was something that was not right about it, but I just couldn't explain, because in my mind at the time, my parents knew the best. So I just listened to what my parents said. And but then as the years went by, I guess that I was searching from the answers that I didn't find in teachings of my parents. And then when I was about 11 or 12, I got a paperwork at school to do a paperwork about Nikola Tesla. And for those who don't know, Nikola Tesla was was a person who came from my part of the world, actually from Croatia, but he was Serbian. Anyway, he devoted his life to his science, and he is the reason why we have electricity today. So I read that he was a vegetarian. A vegetarian? What does it even mean? That was maybe the first time when I actually came across that word, and that word was unknown to me until then, because I grew up around people who believed that if you don't eat meat, you're gonna die. Nobody can survive without meat, right?
Yeah.
And all the heavy diet that is still present in my home country, and I guess in most of the Western modern world, unfortunately. And then I realized that somebody who was so clever as Nikola Tesla was was vegetarian. And I was like, wow, there is hope. Maybe I can do something about this feeling inside of me that has been like hunting me for years. Like, there is something wrong with the diet. You have to search, you have to find the answer. And then I started searching more and more, and one thing leads to another, and I came across other books and other authors who talk about vegetarian diet. And then after some time, I came across vegan diet, and then I went to and then I took a course at Cornell, a plant-based course done by Dr. Colin Campbell, a renewed scientist. He's the author of the China study. And that man, I always say, if I get a chance to see him, I'm gonna hug him. He is such a legend in my mind, and he takes such a huge place in my heart. But not just because the message he brought to the world, but because of his personality, because he's so humble, so such a wonderful man. I think that this place is a better, this world is a better place for because of him, and others, of course. There are many
Right.
other authors for whom I am incredibly thankful for bringing up the message and the clarification about the diet. So I took the course at Cornell University, plant-based course, and I learned tons. Irony is that I went to the secondary medical school, and I'll tell you this. During 4 years, and I had double major. I did double major in the secondary medical school. We had only one class of 45 minutes about diet and nutrition. And in those 45 minutes, those were not even 45 minutes, maybe 35 minutes. That information that was given to us during that one class in those 4 years, like everything is upside down. Like just you can imagine very old, outdated information about diet. You need a lot of protein, and that's it. You cannot live without meat and stuff like that. So when I came again, I just felt again hurt and lied.
Yeah.
And maybe even maybe it was a bit insulting to my intelligence, because I realized that I was never really questioning what I was taught by my parents, by the school, until I was 20 something. And that was a little bit insulting for my intelligence. And first it was hard for me to accept, but then I realized that it's, yeah, okay, you too. So I'm not the only one, thank you. So then I realized better ever than never. And I started questioning more. Sorry, I'm here. I started questioning more and more about all the information that I was given throughout my life. And what also I realized is that the whole schooling system is set up in a way that you are not supposed to question anything. You're just supposed to be a parrot who is repeating everything that we are told during the 45-minute class or whatever, if you want to have a good grade, if you want to pass an exam. And then just some rebel in me started to wake up, and I was like, I'm gonna question everything, and I'm gonna find my answers while living like a parrot. And so I started questioning more and more. And then I came across natural hygiene,
Oh,
which
yeah.
is a science, which
Yeah.
is a true science of health. I came across the names like Herbert Shelton, T.C. Fry, Tilden.
Arnold Era. I think Arnold Era too.
Yeah, he's a big one as well. And then my world again changed, like went upside down. I was like, wow, I had practice in the hospital setting. I was like, all the nonsense that I was taught about how diseases attack people and how diseases are real. No, now after so many years of studying natural hygiene, I came up with my own definition of disease. Would you like to hear it?
Yes, tell us.
Okay, listen carefully. So disease is a normal bodily reaction to abnormal conditions. I'm gonna repeat this. So disease is a normal bodily reaction to abnormal conditions. And when I realized this, I just realized, oh my gosh, people are not victims of some imaginable diseases that fly around. People's bodies are victims of their behavior. But then again, their behavior doesn't come from people being evil. It just comes from this information, from all the lies that we as society were fed all the centuries behind us. And I also realized that sometime in future, when all the message about health and diet reaches up the majority of people, we are going to look back at this time of history behind us, and we will see it as a very dark part of history. When people ate living animals, when people were killing in slaughterhouses and spilling blood everywhere, and thus making people who were eating those carcasses ill, and we had hospitals, we had like these huge buildings of illnesses and diseases where some people were actually in the position of managing those diseases, not healing people, but like, yeah, and all that craziness in the world and this current situation in the world, I think that this all is going to be, we'll have to transcend this. And I truly believe that we will. It's just, we need to wake up one by one and wake up to the truth of health, diet, and how this earth is supposed to be a paradise. And when I say that, I truly mean in a physical sense, not some voodoo imaginable dream, but truly, because a paradise is a place where ecosystem is so healthy that you have huge areas of land is covered by fruit trees, and with the fruit trees, with planting more fruit trees, we are going to see more biodiversity of animal and plant kingdom, and more fresh air, better climate for the whole of the planet, and we are going to revive this planet. We are going to bring it back to life. And now I would really like to now what comes to my mind is one of the most beautiful songs by one of my all-time favorite artists in this whole world, Michael Jackson. Look what we have done to this earth, and look what we have done. And we can, I believe that there is, the healing is always possible, but it is just that we need to wake up now, the sooner the better, and we can bring this beautiful earth back to what it is supposed to be, and that's paradise.
You know, and you have just touched on so many like really important, no, it's true, like super important points, because you know, my thing too is we should be doing our own research instead of just drinking the Kool-Aid, just, you know, believing all the lies, all of the propaganda. So I totally understand what you're saying. And your last point has been proven during this pandemic, when humans have been inside and nature has been able to revive itself, thrive, grow, replenish. The non-human animals are out there, you know, roaming around, multiplying, enjoying better health. You know, the dolphins and the whales are jumping all over the place. You know, the bears and the foxes and the penguins are all over the place. I mean, you have just proven, or you have just described what is actually happening if we as humans get out of the way and let nature, you know, let nature run its course and be her, because we call nature her, mother nature, to, you know, do what comes naturally to her, because we're always in the way. So now that we are being told, hey, you need to stay inside, stay out of the way, now the planet, you know, and the animals and the environment, everything is flourishing.
Absolutely. I love what you have just said. And as a matter of fact, I recently saw, actually, I heard someone on YouTube say, and I forgot who this was. Otherwise, I would of course, tell who this person was. And she said something so profound, funny, but profound. She said, if we wanted to save the planet, there is only one species that we need to get rid of. Do you guess what that species is?
The human
oh my God,
species.
Humans. Come on. And everyone is like, oh gosh, they are out of our way. So yeah, stay out of nature's way. And I love what you just said, just the sentence that you used, stayed out of nature's way. And that's exactly what we need to do with our bodies. stay out of way of your body knows the best, and just provide those substances, forces, influences, and conditions that are needed for maintaining health, because those are the same substances, forces, influences, and conditions that are needed to restore health. It is as easy and as simple as that. All the answers are in nature.
Yeah, and you know, this is a good connection. I just want to say hi to everybody on the line. And if you have any questions or comments for Marina, please put them down in the comment section below and she'll be happy to answer. And so, Marina, that takes us, because you mentioned, you know, um, basically, if we create the right environment, a healthy environment for ourselves, we will thrive. And for me, a part of the environment is our diet. So that takes us to our next question of the raw vegan diet. How did you decide to focus on a raw vegan diet?
Oh, that's a great question, and thank you for asking me that. Yeah, and well, that's what I've been actually focusing on since February 2012. I've been on 100% low-fat raw vegan diet since 2012, since I actually read the book The 80-10-10 Diet by Dr. Douglas Graham. And as I am, beside other titles that I have, I am also a translator from English to Serbian by trade. So I decided, when I read that book, I was like, oh, people need to know about this. People need to know that we are freaking monkeys. And then I found a publisher in my home country of Serbia, and I was literally dragging him by the sleeve and asking him, can we translate this book and publish it, please? And he was reluctant about this idea. But then I took him to one of the fruit festivals in Europe. That year, there was a fruit festival in Slovenia, and Dr. Douglas Graham was one of the speakers. So I took this publisher by the hand, and I dragged him to Slovenia to meet Dr. Douglas Graham, and they talked, and finally I got a green light to translate the book, and we published it. And I think that we published first 1,000 copies, and bear in mind the size of Serbia, which is very small country. And then after a couple of years, we published another 1,000 copies of this book, and I have to say that it is selling well, and that people are thanking me for bringing this message to Serbia, to this part of the world. So I'm so happy about it. And well, since I translated that book, I just took on me that it is my responsibility to walk my talk. And I never looked back, I guess, because I just took on me that, like, since I translated this and I'm teaching people how to be on a raw vegan diet, I never even thought about this. I just somehow automatically forgot about all the other diets. I just excluded them from my mind, and I focused so heavily on fruits and veggies that I never even thought about anything else, and I'm loving it. I just love this diet, and this whole knowledge about natural hygiene liberated me, first and foremost, liberated me from all the decades of being a prison, in prison of all those lies that I was fed, and disinformation. And then also it brought me so much clarity of mind, peace, feeling of peace in my heart, and also so much happiness, so much prosperity, so much joy in finding new fruits, new veggies, new recipes, enjoying this lifestyle, this fruitarian. Well, I'm eating also veggies, but mostly fruit. This fruitarian lifestyle, going to all the fruit festival around the world. Can you talk something about vibration of food? Oh yeah, that's a good one. That's a great one. Hi, Smila. Going to all the fruit festivals around the world, being the speaker at them, and just meeting other vibrantly happy people who are so happy. And it looks sometimes when I talk to fruitarians, it looks like they're all on high, constantly high.
Yes, yes.
From what? Gosh, from
from
So
fruits, from
when you go
plants.
to a fruit festival,
Yeah.
I definitely like this is literally what's happening. Everyone is so high, and trust me, there is no.
No,
It's
no,
just.
no, no, no. No, because I personally like especially when I first started to focus on raw, I
Mhm.
would be so surprised like after I'd have my morning smoothie, all my, fruits in there and maybe a little bit of spice, and I would basically be bouncing down the street. Like my body was like bouncing and I was like, what's going on with me? How come I have so much energy? How come I'm so happy? And so honestly, I totally agree with you that the high vibrations are in full
Yes.
color. They're in full color. So I totally agree.
Oh,
So
uh,
I'll have you answer the question about vibration of
sure,
food.
sure. So Smina from Smina Lighthouse asks about the vibrations of food. I hope I won't disappoint you because I like to speak from the standpoint of science, and I'm not familiar with the science that talks about different vibrations of food that was actually measured. But that's me. I would love to learn more about that. I can only speak from my personal experience, seeing other people, they come from a standard diet to a fruit festival, and all of a sudden, just because they change the diet, they change, their mood changes. They feel happier, they feel lighter, they feel more energetic, they feel more enthusiastic about life. But I will also say this, as you might recall, I said at the beginning of this interview that I switched to a vegetarian diet first because of a man whose name is Nikola Tesla. And Nikola Tesla talked about vibrations. He talked about how everything is vibration, everything is made up of molecules, and those molecules are in constant vibration. So different foods, of course, as different everything, all the items that we see around have different vibrations. Everything is energy, just coalescence into physical form in different shapes, and that's why we are all oneness, so to say, because there is actually no boundary. There is just different places of coalescence energy into a particular shape. So it doesn't. But even though I don't have science to back me up on this, I think it is just a common sense to think about something that comes straight from the tree, or straight from the bush, or from the earth. It definitely has a different vibration than, for example, a killed animal, or something that is grilled to death, being that a lamb, or a banana, whatever it is. It's ruined. And just imagine if you, like your own body, like you have a hand, and the hand has a certain vibration when it's intact, when it's healthy. But what would happen if you, God forbid, put the hand in fire? First, it would ruin your skin. It would ruin the whole musculature of your hand, and the vibration of the hand would be just dead. And I guess that the vibration of food that we put in results in how we feel about ourselves, or about the life. And I've seen this more than once with me and with other people as well. Even on a raw diet for the past couple of 8 years, a couple of times I had something gourmet that was still raw, still vegan, but was harder to digest, and it
Yeah.
would just sit in my colon a little bit longer. And during that time, why I felt some, well, there was like something in my bowels, and it just not doesn't move in the right direction, and in the right at the right speed. And during that period, I would feel automatically as if something like like there was a fog in my brain. And a couple of times I thought, oh, this is just my imagination, but it happened more than once that I clearly brought the coloration there, direct coloration between what is in my gut. It has influence on my brain. It's like period, end of story. If there is fog, there is something foggy, I mean, if there is something heavy in your gut just sitting there and rotting, there's gonna be foggy feeling in your brain, and vice versa. If your gut is clean, clear, like everything is moving fast, oh, there is like this lightness in your brain. You can feel you can feel good. You can feel this enthusiastic feeling about like, what are we going to do next? Like, as you said, jump up and down the street, everyone asking what's going on here. And it is crazy. We live in such a world where happiness and being enthusiastic about life is something that is viewed as like, oh, there is something wrong with this person, right?
Like, why are they so happy? Like, what are they?
Yeah.
I want what they're having, because they look really happy. I just want to pause and say thanks for everyone who's on the line, and please put your questions and comments down below for Marina, and she'll be happy to answer. So I think we should go to our next topic, because we're already halfway through our hour here, and so
we only have 1 hour. Come on, girl.
So our next question is related to recipes, and I wanted you to tell us, please, what's the inspiration behind your recipes?
That's a great question. Well, I do have to say this. So when I read the 80-10-10 diet, I went raw vegan, but at that first stage, I didn't really know how to make the yummiest recipes in the world. And then I went to Costa Rica to intern with Dr. Douglas Graham for 5 weeks. Yeah, it was a very profound experience, because as an intern, we were taking care of the fasters, people who were fasting their water fasting between 21 and 32 days. And it was just an incredible experience to see how people go through that process. And during those 5 weeks, we were also working in the kitchen. We were preparing various meals, and that's actually where my eyes were opened finally to see what everything that I had been missing prior to that experience, during while I was growing up on a standard diet. And then I realized, oh my gosh, people don't even know how one can get creative with fruits, veggies, and a bit of nuts and seeds. And that's where I learned how to combine fruits and veggies properly, and how to make meals get just enticing for your eyes, for your nose, and of course for your taste buds. So that's where I got a lot of motivation, not just motivation, but inspiration to get creative, and where I learned the basics. And then from there on, and then came my work at the Fresh Food Festival in Denmark, where I was the kitchen chef. That year, I think we had over 100 people, and it is a big responsibility when your job is to make sure that more than 100 people are satisfied, are satiated. Because if food is not good, the whole experience is not good. People want to be happy, satiated, and happy. So that's where I learned a lot. Actually, that's where I got a lot of practice. And then I followed incredible raw food chefs like Chris Kendall from Canada.
Oh yeah.
He's incredible.
Yeah, he's good.
He's not just an amazing raw food chef. He is also an incredible personality.
Yeah, he's a nice guy.
He is a sweetheart, and then also I learned a lot from a girl who was in Costa Rica, who was chef of the kitchen in Costa Rica at the time when I was there, Katie Crane. She's also one of the sweetest one of the sweetest people in this world, and I learned tons of from her. Um, and there are some other people whom I've been watching on YouTube, and I just got all these ideas. And then once when you grasp the basics, and when it's just your everyday life to prepare yourself dinner, you just get better and better at that. But of course, I did have my trials and errors, and I learned that it just, at least for me, the daytime is okay. Mono meals of fruit, excellent, but dinner, it just has to hit the sweet spot. It just has to be satiating. So I like to have savory dinners. My favorite would be all time zucchini spaghetti with a
Oh,
sauce.
that's one
Or
of my favorites.
I could eat that like every single day. I don't care about anything else.
Oh,
But then I also like to take some traditional recipes and to make my own versions of low-fat raw vegan, that traditional recipe. Of course, I like to make all kinds of burgers. I like to play with my dehydrator and make burgers out of veggies, and then I just, instead of a bun, I take a mushroom. So I have a mushroom burger. What else? Yeah, that would be it. I hope that I answered the question.
I love it. And I'm so impressed with your training, in Costa Rica and Denmark on your own, doing all of your experiments. I am super impressed.
Oh,
So
well, thank you. Thank you. That's really sweet of you. Thanks.
awesome. No, it's true. So tell us a bit about your coaching services, please.
Oh, well, thank you. Thank you about that. Well, all my coaching services can be found on my website, but the main coaching service that I offer is my Hell Gloves online program. And that's the online program that everyone can follow from the comfort of their home. And it's truly it was a labor of love. I was working on it for months and months, and I compiled, well, there are 7 different sections divided into 4 months. And the first section is 31 lessons about diet, about natural hygiene, health from the standpoint of natural hygiene. And then after you go through all those 31 lessons, you get knowledge tests. And each knowledge test, there is 31 knowledge tests, so each corresponds to one of the lessons, so people can actually really study the diet and natural hygiene philosophy and then see how much they learned going through those knowledge tests. And then that's the program for the first month of this Help Us online program. And then only the second month after education, we go to the diet. So the first month I say, switch, just change the breakfast for a fruit breakfast if you want, but let's keep the diet for now. First, I want you to get education. I want you to focus on education, because I believe that when you understand why you would do something, then you would be more motivated to actually stick to your decisions. I see people struggle with their transition to going raw, but from what I see is because they didn't have a chance to be explained, why would they stick to that? And if they don't understand why would they stick to something, it's just so easily to forget about your New Year's resolutions, right? Just to stay with you in January. Anyway, so, and then the second part of the program, the second month, is when we learn how to combine fruits, veggies, nuts, and seeds, and how to actually make tasty recipes and organize all those meals and recipes into sustainable meal plans. And I teach people how to track their own caloric needs, their own calorie intakes, and how to make meal plans. But in my program, there are 4 different 7-day meal plans, each for every season. So there is one for spring, summer, autumn, and winter, and they are all done in beautiful photos. So all you have to do is to go to find which season, which day you want, and there is everything laid down for you for 2,000 calories a day. But I also
That's
teach
really
people.
good.
Well, yeah, thank you. And I really worked on that, because it actually took me a whole year to go through that cycle of different seasons and make different 7-day meal plans, for one for meal plan a year, one for each season. And then beside that, there is a section that is probably one of my favorite section. It is called what is it called? It is called Food for Thought. And when you enter that, there are little cards that you open, and each card is a motivation for a day. Because besides, so I included education first, and then meal plans with the recipes, and then motivation to keep you on track. And then the 3rd month is fitness, yoga, and another motivation section, which is called Cards of the Heart, and that one is my favorite, I believe. And fitness and yoga, so far there are 4 videos of yoga, there is 4 videos of fitness beginner level, and 4 videos of intermediate level, but I'm gonna come up with more videos of fitness and yoga. I do teach yoga, by the way, online, but it's whole another story. And then the last section is questions answered, and there is a private group on WhatsApp, so everyone can join the group, and there is a lot of tons of support there, and people asking each other questions, getting answers, or just being part of community, of supportive community who will tell you everything is fine, let's move on, you are not the only one. So yeah, that's my main coaching program, and right now there is a 30% discount, and when you apply for my coaching program, you don't only get access to this whole another part of my website, which is membership only, but you also get a little package at your doorstep with my books, and with a special glass straw in a travel case. So that's my main coaching program.
Oh, it sounds awesome. And I love how you build in a foundation, and you make sure, or you encourage people to find their why. Why are they doing this? So that when they kind of wobble around, they're like, oh yeah, I remember why I'm doing this. So let me go back and think about
Absolutely.
this.
I think that's like the foundation, the education is the most important. And what I haven't mentioned maybe is that I also, after I finished this internship in Costa Rica with Dr. Douglas Graham, I came upon an online academy, which was called at the time Vibrant Health and Wealth Academy. So I graduated from that. It took me about 2 years of studying that, and yeah, well, thank you. And it was really profound, everything that we learned there, and the foundation of that studying at the academy was to read all the material and then go through these tests, and that's what I applied in my program as well. So I realized that education is so important. So that's the first part of my program. As I said, in the first part of my program, in my introductory video, I say, forget about the diet. We're gonna deal with that the next month. First, education, and then everything else. We can't go to the fun part yet.
I agree. We have a comment here from Transform to Health. Hi there, who says, very interesting. Going to check this out. So she's going to check out your program. And Svila says, thank you so much for this interview. Awesome. So we have about 10-15 minutes left. So let's go to a couple of the challenges that your clients have.
Oh,
Just like one or two.
that's a huge one. And just to answer, all the information about my program is on my website, healthclothes.net, or you can just go to my profile and there is a link that can take you um, to all of my goodies. The challenges. Okay, I think one of the main challenge that I see people struggle with is that I am approached by different people from different parts of the world. And all of them say one and the same thing, and that is, I am alone. And when they say that, I just imagine all these people from different parts of the world, sorry, being alone in their little part of the world. And I think, oh, if you could just can come together, you're gonna be in a group. So that's why I created the program and a private group on WhatsApp where people feel being part of community. So that's a big one. And there are so many of my members who tell me that just being part of the group and being able to go to this WhatsApp group and say hi means the world to them. And
Yeah.
then people say, hi, you have also eaten bananas for breakfast. That's great because I've done that too. And don't worry, you're not alone. That's a huge one, being part of a supportive community. But I also like to teach people that they should be honored that they were chosen to be light in their part of the world. We are still in this dark age, but if we keep our light shine through, we will be able to pull other people towards this light, because people will always be pulled towards the light. So I always encourage people, please just walk your talk and keep your head high and just be the light. Even though you might be alone now, instead of going down towards the dark, let them approach you. Just keep the light shining. So that's one. And then the other one is that people, and I think this is a big one, that people are in relationships, being that parental relationship or relationship with their children or with their spouse. So they're in this relationship in which the relationship that was started years before they decided to change their, not just diet, but the whole lifestyle, because the diet is connected to all aspects of our life. And once when people change their diet, their whole mentality changes. So they have already going on this relationship with another person who is dear to their heart, but it's just not seeing now the life with the same eyes. And then I know this is a hard one to transcend, because it is not fair to expect other people and impose our beliefs on them. If they are not ready for a change, we should just leave them, probably. And I always tell people, just don't, not to be aggressively trying to change someone aggressively, but rather to shine the light, show by example, and hope that, and love unconditionally. Love unconditionally, that's like the biggest one. And just be strong, don't give up just because it is easier to slip down and eat whatever another person eats. Just because it is easier, just be strong and do this for them, so once when they are ready, they will follow. So that's a huge one. So even though it's like a relationship in a question, being, as I said, a relationship with parents or children or a spouse or friends or anyway, or some other relationship, be strong and just show by example. And if some people decide to go away, let them go. Just let them go, because the only, I will say this, the only true relationship that you need to really care about your whole life is the relationship that you have with yourself. That's right. That's right. Thank you for understanding. Before I ended the sentence, you knew what was coming. So that's really nice.
No, but I
Yeah.
want to say too, like, especially during these difficult times of this global pandemic, I think, your first point that people feel very alone, I feel that it has just been amplified this year with so much social distancing, isolation, blah, blah, lockdowns, all of that. And so, your program, I think, is super important because, you're bringing people together, even though they're in like 50 different countries or whatever.
That's well, thank you. Yeah, I guess that my program and alike programs from other health educators,
Yes.
we are here to bring people together about the topic that is important for all of us. As I said, we are all oneness, as so everyone should be working on themselves and prioritize themselves. And when I say that, it might sound very selfish, but when you think about it, it's very actually selfish not to think about yourself, because when you oh, I wish people understood this. This is so deep. And when I understood this, first, it's to me, it sounded that, oh, that's such a selfish approach. But then as the years went by, I realized that's the only thing that we are supposed to do, is to take the best care of ourselves as possible, because there is no one else we can take care of. Everything else is just a pretentious taking care. Once when you take the best care of yourself, you show by example how to be healthy and how to be healthy mentally and physically to other people, and then they will follow. We have to be, as I said, the light, so that other people can join the light. So in that regard, I encourage everyone to be as selfish as possible and take the best care of yourself and let the other follow.
Yeah, we have Smila saying yes, because you can't help others if you are not okay. I totally agree with
Absolutely,
both of you.
absolutely.
Totally. I just want to say hi and thanks for everyone on the line. And if you have questions or comments for Marina, please put them down below and she'll be happy to answer. So we have about 7 or 8 minutes here, Marina. So
Okay.
you have talked a bit about what you recommend for new people in terms of your, advice. I do want you to tell us a bit about your yoga and fitness practices. I want to say that I am super impressed with your yoga and gym practice. And I'm like, how is she lifting all of this weight and how's she doing all these push-ups? So if you could just tell us in a couple of minutes a little bit about your
Oh, well,
practice.
well, thank you. Thank you. Yeah, fitness and yoga are a big part of my life, and I absolutely love being physically active. But it wasn't always like that. I remember when I was younger, and especially before the raw vegan diet, I remember periods when I felt older than I feel now, just because of all the junk that I was eating. And I remember periods in my life when I was wondering, why does physical activity even exist? Why does that torturing exist? If you told me then that I was going to grow up in an adult that loves to go to the gym, I go to the gym, I get up, I jump out of my bed and I go straight to the gym. I just love it. But if you told me when I was a kid that I was going to be an adult who does that, I would say, oh, no way. Me? No way. I would rather play. Oh my gosh, this was a huge part in my previous life, so to speak. I would rather be a couch potato and do nothing, just be in front of TV, drugged with it. So that was my previous me. I'm ashamed of it, but
No,
well,
no, 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 no.
it was good.
I was very similar. And now I'm like so happy when I can walk for 3 hours, like even at a fast pace and even if it's uphills and all that, I'm just so happy. Whereas, before, like you say, with my former self, I would just like sit on the couch with a remote control couch potato, just eat, potato chips or whatever. So I can relate to you.
Oh my gosh, same here, same here. Yeah, if you like, now that I think about that, at that time of my life, if I saw a person, me, adult me, on TV, like doing all those push-ups and doing deadlifts and yoga, and I was like, what a crazy person this is. What is she doing this to herself? I couldn't even understand the concept in mind. Why would somebody go to the gym? Like, isn't that crazy? And now I am the biggest fan of the gym. Like, as I said, I jump out of bed in the morning. I go straight to the gym. I have my regime. I do my weightlifting. I do my push-ups or sit-ups or whatever it is, crunches, and I just feel so good after that. And then in the evening, I give a yoga class. I'm also going to start teaching yoga online in English. Around the mid of December, but so far it's only in Serbian. But anyway, and I just love the movement. I'm a certified yoga teacher. I went to yoga teacher training in New York.
Oh, wow. Oh, wow.
Yeah, and it was quite a story. Anyway, so I just love the movement. I love it because now I guess this is my theory, and this is how I feel, my subjective feeling. My intestines are not are so light, so empty, so to speak, so light that I can easily move around. I can think clearly, and I can easily move around. I remember used to when I was eating all the junk that I was eating, my intestines were so clogged that I couldn't move around. There was like stones that were pulling me down from my couch, and I just had to watch TV. But now everything changed with the diet. So if anyone struggles with being more physical active, I would say start slow. Start taking walks, and then walks of like 15 minutes. And then over the time, when you fall in love with that, you will start taking longer walks, and you will just crave them, or you will start running a little bit, or doing self movements. Or biking around or whatever. Just find a physical activity that suits you, that you enjoy, and start easy, start slow, and then progress from there.
Awesome. All right, 3 minutes left. So tell us, please, what's the best way for people to contact you if they want more information, to collaborate, etc.?
Oh, well, thank you. Thank you for asking me that. The best is to go to my website, which is healthglows.net. But people are also welcome to just message me on Instagram. My Instagram profile is healthglows. I also have a modeling profile if anyone is interested in collaboration with that. Marina_Grubik_model, or just message me, so you can see that. And in my EG profile, in my EG bio, there is a link for all of my links. So just go there, click that link, and there is my Health Glows online program. There is some goodies on my website, and just feel free to reach out, message me, say hi. I'm here.
Awesome. Awesome. Well, Marina, I want to thank you immensely for taking the time to come on and chat with us. I want to thank everyone who watched either live or on the replay. And I'm going to ask you, Marina, to just give us a summary here in about a minute or so. Any final thoughts you want to share with us?
Well, thank you. Thank you for that. I would summarize all this talk with be the light, be strong, show by example, and let your light shine there in the world. Even though when you feel alone, just remind yourself that you are not alone in the whole world. You are actually honored to be that one light in the dark area where you live. But when all the lights from different parts of the world, when they come together, they will be the biggest light ever. And we are here for a reason, with the message that we have, which is very important, to pull the humanity onto the next level, which is the level that will actually bring this earth to what it was supposed to be ever since the time began, and that is a paradise.
Oh, wow. Well, thank you so much for ending on that high note, Marina. It was just awesome to chat with you, and I feel very inspired, and I'm sure everyone else does too. So I am going to, again, thank you so much for taking the time, Marina. I'm going to save this live to IGTV, my stories, and my feed, and then I'll message you afterwards.
Oh, well, thank you. Thank you for having me on your show. It was my honor.
Thank you so much. Take good
Thank
care.
you.
Bye bye. Thank
Bye.
you. Bye, everybody. Thank you.